This is going to be the first video in a series of videos that I'll call Harmony Hacks. Basically, it's how I look at the guitar. I don't come from like a super technical, like I went to music school and I look at the guitar in this, very precise way. I learned a bunch of Chan songs and I'm still learning a bunch of like Polyphia songs now and like Animals as Leaders, Thank You Scientists, stuff like that. I'm using that in tangent with lessons I had with Thomas Griggs. If you guys don't know who Thomas Griggs is, look him up on Instagram. He is like, in my opinion, he's top 5 alive, I'd say, as a guitar player. He's insane. He's also the best teacher I've had, period. Like, forget college, math classes in college or like any other guitar teachers I've had. I've had other awesome, really kind, good people, guitar teachers, but someone who's truly a great teacher, Thomas. He's unbelievable. Anyway, what I'm going to talk about are drop 2 chord voicings. So this isn't dismissing any other system. I think other systems are great. There's so many different ways to look at the guitar. This is just what works for me. And it allows me to achieve like a math rocky or like modern or prog sort of sound, okay? So I'll try to explain this in a way that would make sense to anybody. So drop 2 chord voicing. A drop 2 chord voicing is an open chord voicing. So I'll break that down. So open chord voicing. Open chord is best explained when comparing it to a closed chord. So a closed chord would be a chord where there are no jumps intervallically between notes in the chord. This is what I mean. So let's pick a key. For the sake of this lesson, I'll pick the key of A. So, okay, so the key of A. So our first chord, or tonic chord, is the A major 7 chord. So the A major 7 chord, we have the notes A, C sharp, E, G, okay? So if we play that in closed inversion, that means we play 1, 3, 5, 7, A, C sharp, E, G, okay? So if you know the cage system, again, other systems are great, we have this, okay? This is your C shape, right? You're just dropping the middle finger, and that gives you the major 7. You have 1, 3, 5, 7, okay? So that is root inversion, meaning that the root is in the bass, okay? Root inversion, closed chord voicing, okay? So what would an open chord voicing be? Well, in the key of A, we could play something like this, like, so that is 1, 5, 3, 7, okay? So I'm moving the 3rd and the 7th both up an octave, and it has a really, really cool sound. I think this is called a drop 2, drop 4. Super crazy name. I don't care about it, okay? What I care about is this. This is a drop 2 in root inversion, okay? We have a 1, 5, 7, 3, okay? So what I did was, you take this chord, you have 1, 3, 5, 7. What I'm doing is, I take the second interval, 1, 3, take that, drop it, throw it up an octave, okay? So what we have now is 1, 5, 7, 3, okay? 1, 5, 7, 3, A, E, G sharp, C sharp, okay? You can also play that like this. But that is not useful for our purposes because we want to play everything on adjacent strings. I can explain that more next week, but for now I can say that this is really useful because I can either strum it or I can hybrid pick it, right? It's sweet, okay? So I have many different options. I can also hybrid pick this, and I can also strum that, but now I'm thinking, okay, I gotta mute the string in the middle, so I gotta like angle my fingers correctly. Forget all that. I don't wanna think too much, okay? That is basically what an open drop 2 voicing is. A chord, I guess I said I'd break down each part. A chord is 2 or more notes played simultaneously, right? So you have dyads, triads, and then, we'll call them 4-note chord voicings, 7 chords. I'm focusing on 4-note chord voicings because math, rock, jazz, and all that shit. And then we have voicing. So when I think voicing, I think chord, I think how the chord is played. Drop 2s now. Drop 2s are open chord voicings. So what is the point? Why can't we just play, why can't we just play a bar chord? Why can't we just, stick with the cage system. The cage system never hurt anybody. You know, yeah, it didn't, but for my purposes of composing, for writing, I think drop twos are superior because they give you so much more color and just like that, and they're pretty easy to see. Why would we play them over closed chords? Because closed chords also sound beautiful, right? Okay, so closed chords do sound beautiful, right? I do agree. Like this, I mean, right? Like, I don't know, like you hear that in a bunch of different songs, like those types of voicings, at least in a bunch of different songs. Even a minor voicing, if I play like it's a really slick sound, I think. But the thing is, some inversions are really difficult to play on guitar. And you could argue, like, why would I ever play an inversion? Like, okay, sure, yeah, you can do this. You can do that all day, or you could, you know, not do that, and you could do like, and now you have something that is immediately more interesting, and you're playing the same chords essentially due to inversions, entirely due to inversions, okay? Inversions give you freedom to move anywhere and do so with like really nice voice leading. Well, let me show you an example of where playing a closed chord voicing inversion is really difficult. So if we take the same chord, A major 7, this is super easy to play. Anybody can play this, right? And this is its corresponding drop 2 shape, root inversion. The A is in the bass, A is the root. So let's look at third inversion, just to give you a very difficult example. Third inversion starts on the 7th, okay? So root inversion starts on the root, 1, 3, 5, 7. First inversion starts in the 3rd, so it's 3, 5, 7, 1. Second inversion starts in the 5th, and then it's 5, 7, 1, 3. And then third inversion starts in the 7th, 7, 1, 3, 5, okay? So I gave you all the closed voicings of that, okay? So let's do the third inversion. I'll show you how ridiculous this is, okay? So I have the 7, the G sharp, A, C sharp, and then E, okay? I have to make a face to play this. It's just so disturbing. I have to use my thumb. Nobody in their right mind should play this chord. You know, Andre Nieri, go ahead. You know, Matei Sasato, do it. I don't care. I am not gonna play that. That's absurd. There's a really easy way to play that voicing, or play that chord rather, in third inversion. You play it right there. Look at that. I'm going from the 9th fret to the 11th fret. I mean, that is way better than 5 to 11 using my thumb. You know what I mean? So, and everything's still on adjacent strings. The voicing now, again, look at closed voicing, third inversion. It is 7, drop the 1, throw it up an octave. 7, 3, 5, 1. So that gives us G sharp, C sharp, E, A. Okay? Quick little side note, I'm using the major 7 just as an example to the lesson, the A major 7. But this third inversion, drop 2, I tend not to use too often because of this. You have the major 7 in the bass, and you have in the highest voice the root, and that forms a flat 9 intervallic relationship. I am not too crazy about that personally. I find it to be kind of harsh sometimes in recordings. So what I do is if I ever use this, I tend not to land on that chord. I will use that higher voice as a passing note and land on a different note if I do stick to that chord, but I tend not to land on that spot. That's just a side note though, okay? So that is why we use drop 2s. They're very guitar friendly, and they make playing really nice chord voicings really easy, and especially on adjacent strings too. Which means it gives you less to think about. This works for the bottom 4 set of strings, the middle 4 set, and the top 4 set of strings, okay? So the formula is pick any 4 intervals, lay them out in a row. You know, the intervals will go 1 to 7, and it's like cyclic. You know, so if it starts on 7, the next one's gonna be a 1, 3, 5, so on and so forth. So you can pick any interval of notes in closed voicing. Drop the second interval in ascending order. So if you start on the 3, 3, 5, 7, 1, you drop the 5, 3, 5, boom, drop it, throw it up an octave. And what you have is this, right? That's a chord that people have, if you've been playing guitar for, any amount, like a couple of years, you've probably come across this chord before. It looks like 2 power chords stacked on top of each other with like a half step there. It's a sweet sound. I fell in love with it when I first heard it. And it's a first inversion drop 2 chord voicing of, that is A major 7 in that case. First inversion, okay? So that's what it is. At least it's one way of looking at it. It's a useful way too. So, at least I think. So, experiment with this, and next week I'm going to show you how to find all chord inversions with like a foolproof system that you can use for any chord quality, period. 4-note chord voicings is what I'm going to be focusing on. Drop 2s, okay? Blah, blah, blah. Thanks for watching.